The situation is this has been a practice and this has been the norm. At least we have been witnessing since 2022 at the time when PDM, had formed. In every year, People's Party, just before the budget, they come up with their own demands, and the first thing they come out with, you are not going to accommodate our demands, we're not going to support you in passing the budget. So this is not a new phenomena. At least this is my being a finance advisor of KP. This is the third budget, and I followed the same pattern. And in every meeting, despite the fact they get the huge, funds, but they are keep on demanding. For example, for this year, they have two provinces under their command at the moment, Sindh and Balochistan. Balochistan got 241 billion for the development funds, and Sindh got approximately 190 billion rupees. Compared to both provinces, KP got 2.2 billion rupees in the development side and 8.6 billion for the highway side. So you can imagine the difference between KP, Balochistan, and Sindh. So, at the end of the day, Shehbaz Sharif government, they have no other option just to please them, and they just accommodate their things. But this time, the situation is little bit ahead what we were witnessing in the last 4 years. Before, they were just, focused on increasing their pie. But this time, the federal government, they came up with the different ideas because now they think their deficits are not sustainable. So they need more resources to operate. So either one option is the federal government wants to retain more out of the divisible pool compared to previous years. So for that purpose, provinces provincial divisible pool share needs to be changed, or the composition of the divisible pool. Divisible pool is a pot where all the taxes, poured in. So federal government wanted to take some taxes out from that divisible pool. For example, the petroleum levy, which it's a very just a popular one of the non-tax thing. It's a non-divisible pool item. So every rupee collected by federal government actually retains by federal government. So federal government wanted to have couple of more taxes out of the divisible pool. That is the one option, which is obviously even KP will resist also, and I'm sure PPP and on the backdrop, Punjab might not be willing from inside. So that is the one option. The other option could be there are some expenditures which is now at the moment completely supported or sponsored by federal government. They want provinces to come ahead and shoulder their responsibilities along with them. So that is the another option. Again, this option will hurt provincial finances because before they were not used to pay this expense, but now, uh, for example, if you are living in a joint family, before your father is paying your electricity bill, but at some point he's saying, I don't have enough resources. Let's contribute everyone for the electricity bill. So it's the same kind of thing. Government want provinces to come ahead, maybe the future dam projects, maybe the defense related expenditures. So something that federal government want provinces to come up with. So this is where the deadlock actually is, apart from the yesteryears PPP strategy of getting more and more funds. Okay, NSC review should be done by 2015. When NFC were formed, it is supposed for 5 years. Like budget, whenever we give budget, it is for just 1 year, and next year you give up, you give the another budget. So similarly, in principle, the seventh NFC which we are following at the moment, it was expired in 2015. And then after that, 8, 9, and 10, three NFCs got flunked, and there was no progress, and we are still getting all provinces paid on the basis of 7th NFC. And this 7th NFC was formed on the basis of 1998 population. Just imagine you are sitting in 2026, and that NFC, at the moment we are operating under, is actually taking the variables of 1998. So this should be revised. But unfortunately, the provinces are, and the NFC actually is formed. If there is no consensus, then the old or 7 NFC will remain intact. So it is very important to build the consensus. So because of the last NFC, couple of provinces are the beneficiary. If there will be a change in composition, even if there will be if they apply the new population census 2023, few provinces shares will cut. So they are not interested in the new NFC. And again, it's a evolving process. The ground realities are changing. We need to invest more on climate. We need to invest more on law and order, or the against terrorism. We need to incentivize those who are controlling the population. At the moment, your NFC is being made, they are giving dividends to those who are actually giving an exponential growth to the population. We need to give dividends if anybody is pushing to bring out of school students to the school network. But there is no such thing like that in the current NFC. We are providing more funds those who are more backward. So, this needs to be evolved. This needs to change. There should be more variables, should be added. So there is no harm. But if anybody is doing politics, they just they are just being scared because their share or their pie will be shrinked. That is why they are not interested. Digitalized world, if you get any services, be it municipal, be it any service at your doorstep, at least the people have to pay for this service to make that service sustainable. You cannot provide that service on the basis of loan or someone else income. यानी कि, you cannot do the charity of your father savings. If you want to do the charity, you have to earn yourself for that charity, and this is what the principle is. But provinces are so far post 18 amendment, although they have increased their own source revenue, which we call it OSR, and the only own source revenue the provinces are relying on is sales tax on services. And these sales tax on services is like, you go for the restaurant, you pay your bill, so you pay sales tax on that bill. If you book the hotel room, so you pay the sales tax. So this little services, when you buy the mobile phone credit, you pay the sales tax. This is the kind of service tax. If you buy chartered accountant services or lawyer services, you pay some taxes. That's it. So, the other taxes provinces can earn is the property tax. It's a huge potential area. This is where the lacking is. For example, both of us are from Karachi. So, outside Karachi, there is no concept of property tax. Even in Karachi, few areas, government have been able to collect taxes. and the slums, and the smaller areas, and they don't collect any uh, significant tax collection. Same is the story with Peshawar, same is the story with Lahore. But interestingly, we had a meeting with Federal Finance Minister a couple of weeks ago, and they have mentioned that the per capita property tax is higher uh, in Peshawar than Lahore and Karachi. So you can imagine that. And if and they gave us the other comparison with the Indian cities. So we are not even 2% or 5% what India is collecting from their residents. They have the same demography. They have the same income levels, but they at least collect the tax. And and that is why they have been able to build the infrastructure. Now, take the example of Sindh. Sindh is keep on asking money from the federal government for their BRTs, orange line, green line, etc., yellow line. This should have been funded by their own sources, but they are not collecting tax. Hence, they are going there, and public are being deprived of all these services. K4 water projects. Even the Sindh is demanding for the sewerage and these water and sanitation projects. So these services should be done by provincial government. So now it's about time we have to step ahead. We think about when you get elected, you think about the services, not to think how to win the next election. So this material change is now imminent, and the federal government is pushing. But at the end of the day, the federal government, give up when it comes to their government, and they just do the same strategy every year. And I'm sure this is not, this year is not going to be the different from previous years.